Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Mom on the Verge podcast, where I aim to help you improve your sense of joy, purpose, and meaning in this life. We will talk about a lot of different ways we can do this, but ultimately, we'll be working toward finding our way back home to ourselves and remembering that even in the most challenging times, peace is only a breath away. I am your host, Katie Farinas, a mom, nurse, and yogi on a mission to improve mental health and build community in our world. Hi, everyone. I wanted to let you know about an exciting new workshop that I'm offering. So, as you may know, if you've been following the show or if you're on my email list, I developed a guide called Your 5 Paths to Dharma. And so, what is Dharma? Let's start with that. Let me give you a brief overview of Dharma. Dharma is basically your soul's purpose. It's your soul's reason for being here, coming to this life in this lifetime. It's what you are meant to be and do and say, and how you're meant to influence the world. And it is for your happiness. Dharma is should give you joy and fulfillment and happiness, but it's also to serve the rest of the world as well. Because when we are in alignment with our greatest joy and our greatest authenticity, and when we are unbounded and free to be truly authentic and ourselves, what happens is we wind up impacting other people in really positive ways because we can't help but bring that beautiful energetic out into the world and influence other people. So there's many components to Dharma, but that is really the crux of it. That's the key of it. It is living your soul's purpose and doing it in a way that fulfills you and positively impacts the world around you. And you are outside of your Dharma when you feel unfulfilled in your life, when you're feeling like, is this all there is to life? There has to be something more. When you feel like you're living a life that just isn't yours or it doesn't really represent you, or you feel like there's just not enough meaning in life and that there has to be more meaning than what you're experiencing. Often, when people are outside of their Dharma, they feel anxious, they feel depressed, they might feel numb, they feel a lot of fear of death. Because their soul knows that it's not on the path that it was designed to be on. And so there's just a lot of negative sensations and emotions that come with being off of our path. And often life tries to get us back on our path. And so I'm sure we've all heard the term karma. Karma isn't supposed to be bad, right? Like we think of karma as that thing where, oh, I did something wrong to someone and now that swings back around and now something bad happens to me. But life is neutral. The world is neutral. Energy is neutral. And the universe is really always working in our favor. And so when we experience things that we wouldn't prefer or things that we would consider to be negative karma, it's really life trying to nudge us back towards where we are meant to be. So if you think about, you're driving a car down the road and you start falling asleep at the wheel, right? We fall asleep in our lives all the time. And we start kind of swerving off the road and we hit those little bumps on the side of the road that are meant to wake us up, those little rumble strips. And that represents karma, right? We hit the rumble strip and all of a sudden we feel this very uncomfortable sensation. It wakes us up out of our sleep and we, oh no, I'm almost off the road. I have to get back on the straight road that I'm meant to be on. And so we adjust the car, right? We start steering back towards the road. And if you think about that in the world of dharma and karma and life, really when when we're falling asleep at the wheel of our lives, we start veering away from what our soul's job is, what we're really meant to do here. And then life gives us a rumble strip. It gives us something to wake us up and remind us that we're veering off track. and that we need to turn back in the direction of our Dharma. And if we don't listen, if we sleep through the rumble strip or we don't pay attention to it, those messages will start coming faster and harder and louder until we pay attention. And so this is your opportunity to start paying attention. If you've been feeling those feelings, if you've been feeling unfulfilled, you've been feeling like there has to be something more, you've been feeling anxious, depressed, sad, unhappy at home, unhappy in work, unhappy in parenthood. All of these are signs that somehow you're off track. Somehow you've hit the rumble strip. That's the rumble strip telling you to wake up in your own life and get back on track. And I would love to help begin that journey for you. And I would love that because it was my journey. I went through that journey and I needed help along the way. I needed teachers, I needed guides, I needed someone to help me show me the way to my own Dharma. And what I learned along the way was that my Dharma, part of my Dharma, is to help other people do the same thing. And, we'll get into all the nitty gritty on the workshop of exactly what Dharma is and all the details of what's involved. But Dharma is something that you come into this life with and you will leave this life with. And it might express itself in different ways throughout your life, but your Dharma is your Dharma. And when you don't pay attention to it, you feel it in your mind, your body, and your soul, and you know it. You know something is off. You know that life just doesn't feel the way you think it should feel. You have all the things you thought you wanted, maybe. Maybe you have the family that you wanted, or the home, or the car, the job, or material possessions. You have all the things of this world that should be making you happy, joyful, fulfilled, peaceful. They should be making you feel those ways. At least that's what we think, but yet you don't. And that is a surefire sign that you are living outside of your Dharma. And I want to differentiate Dharma from life purpose because that is part of your Dharma, but Dharma is more. Because when we talk about life purpose, a lot of times that is directed at the self. We're only talking about us, our life purpose. What's my life purpose? And it's all about me, me, me. But Dharma expands that. Dharma says, yes, it is about you. It's about coming home to yourself. It's about finding out what lights you up and makes you feel excited and passionate and purposeful and fulfilled. What makes life feel magical to you. But it also encompasses the rest of the world, the rest of humanity, and all living creatures by saying that when we live a life that makes us feel all of those feelings that we want to feel, all that passion, excitement, connection with others, joy, ease, magic. When we live a life like that, then we can serve the world in the ways that we were meant to serve the world. And everyone's different. Everyone's path for serving the world is very different. For some people, it's going to be having a podcast and coaching and doing workshops and teaching. For some people, it's going to be baking something that they know their neighbor loves and bringing it to them just as a little thank you for being a great neighbor, right? That's their Dharma. Their Dharma is to serve people within their community nearby to them, or to help others if they're having a hard time. I was a teacher. I don't know if anyone knows that, but many moons ago, I was a high school teacher. And as a nurse, you do a lot of teaching. A big portion of nursing is teaching. You're really educating your patients. And so teaching has been in my blood for as long as I can remember. I actually remember in my senior year of college, I went to a a presentation, And my professor, a professor that I had become very close with during my college years, was there. And I gave up. I went up to give a presentation and I went up and I did it. And I was super nervous, but somehow when I got up there, my nerves calmed and I was able to do it. And I sat down and he said to me, "You are a teacher." And it hit me so hard because I had never thought of myself as a teacher. I didn't go to school, so even though I did teach high school at one point, I did not have a teaching degree. My degree in, college was in chemistry, a Bachelor of Arts in Chemistry. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had never thought of myself as a teacher. That was just not it literally was not on my radar at all. And yet, when he said it, there was this resonance inside of me, a knowing, a recognition, a soul's recognition that that is who I am. That is what I'm meant to do here. But I can do it in many different ways. I could do it in the classroom. I could do it at the bedside. I could do it as a coach. I can do it with my children. There are so many ways that I can fulfill this path of being a teacher. And so that is part of my dharma, right? Part of my dharma is to be a teacher. We Our dharmas are not always that they're not that simple, right? I mean, part of your dharma could be being a teacher, or it could be being a researcher, or it could be being an activist. But then the question becomes, well, how do I do that, right? How do I use my authentic skills, talents, my personality traits, my dosha, which we'll get into, which is kind of your energetic body, how your energy moves within you. Um, how do I use all these things to create a picture of my dharma and how I'm supposed to show up in the world in a way that's deeply, powerfully authentic to me? And I didn't know that for a long time, right? I was dabbling here and dabbling there, and each thing that I tried along the way was just a step on my journey toward my true dharma. But all along, even though I knew the things that I was doing as a teacher, as a nurse, as a parent felt somewhat in alignment with my dharma, just wasn't quite it, right? Did you ever date someone and you really like them and they have all these great qualities and they're so kind and sweet and they're cute and they have a great job and they're a good kisser and they're all the things and you really really like them, but it's just not quite it. There's something there that's missing, and you can't really even put your finger on it entirely what it is that's missing. You just know that it is. And that's kind of what it's like when you're trying to find your dharma. You may make many different moves along the way, try a lot of different shoes on for size, um, interview lots of dharmas, and pull little pieces here and there that you liked from this particular journey. That you pull a piece, and then another journey you take, you pull a piece. But then, how do you put it together? Right there, this one's not quite right, but it has this thing that you like, and this one's not quite right, but you have this thing that you like. And how do you pull at this stage of your life, having had a decent number of experiences, both through just living life, jobs, parenthood, trials that you've been through, tough stuff you've been through? How do you pull all the pieces that you have learned and the wisdom that you have gained from all those areas of your life, along with that innate person that you came into this life to be, and pull it all together to create a life that is truly authentic to you and within your dharma and of service to others, because you will never feel fulfilled. You will never feel the magic that life has to offer unless you are in service to others in some way. And the key to that being of service to others is to do it in a way that is authentic to you and that lights up your soul and makes you feel like the absolute best version of yourself. Not the tapped out, tired all the time, anxious about everything, frustrated, passionless version of yourself. The version of yourself that just cannot wait to get out of bed in the morning, that cannot wait to get to doing that thing or those things that ignite that spark inside of you. And when you live that life, that's the life your kids get to see you living. They get to see a mom who is so excited by her life, who is truly living her passion and not letting anything hold her back from doing that. And that she's making a difference in whatever way that looks like. So, this is not an invitation to up and quit your job. It could be. Maybe it is. Or maybe it's just an invitation to start doing a hobby that you've been wanting to do for years and you just keep putting it on the back burner because you work and you have kids and you have a house and you have all these things that are getting in the way. And if you could see me, I'm air quoting, getting in the way of you doing that thing. But guess what happens if you do that thing? If that thing is part of your Dharma and it lights you up, you bring that energy back to your family and you bring it back to your coworkers and you bring it back to your neighbors and you bring it back to every single thing that you touch. And how much magic is in that? How much magic is in the fact that you are lit up like a flame and like a matchstick, your flame can then light other flames, right? Because we all know what it feels like to be in the space with someone who is passionate, excited, loving, of service. We know what it feels like to be in that person's presence and how it impacts our energetic and how we feel inside. And we know how it feels to be in the presence of someone who's just complaining all the time. They're frustrated, they're irritable and angry, they're impatient because they don't feel good inside. And so that not feeling good inside is coming out and spilling all over you because you're in their presence, right? Do you want to be that person? Or do you want to be the first person who's spilling their beautiful energy out, sharing it with the rest of the world and changing the world through that? We live in a society, we live in a world right now where everyone needs to be in their dharma because when they are, they will be doing the thing that they were designed to do, right? We don't ask our phone to vacuum our floors, right? Because our phone wasn't designed to vacuum our floors. So if we tried to use our phone to vacuum our floors, we would have very dirty floors. That would be very ineffective, right? And we also don't try to text somebody with our vacuum, right? Because that's not what our vacuum was designed to do. We were designed to do something and do it in a specific way, a way that is meaningful and effective for us. And let me tell you, culture beats that out of you. Culture says there is one way to do something and one way only. Sit in the desk, pay attention to the teacher, you know, do the problem, get it right or get it wrong, and that's it. Those are your choices. And that's just not true. There is a million ways to do each and everything in this world. And when we have people who are willing to step up and step in to their authenticity and do it in their way, we will find new and creative solutions to so many of the problems that our world faces. This is about not just you. This is about creating a better future for our children by showing them what's possible for them and by impacting the world in a positive way, by turning the tide, by spreading the energy of love, service, passion, purpose, all of these positive things, spreading them. If you have ever listened to one of my podcast episodes and walked away feeling like, I feel connected. I feel seen. I feel heard. I feel loved upon. I feel just relieved that I'm not alone. If you have ever done that for one of my episodes, then that's what I'm talking about. That is the energetic that I'm spreading because I chose to step into this and I chose to have this voice in this platform. And I love it. I love my audience. I love my guests. I love being able to have these deep, meaningful, beautiful, powerful conversations. I love it. But I love just as much that I am positively impacting other people and the world. It's all one, right? It's all one and the same. It's not me or you, me or her or him or them. It is us. It is always us. We are one. We are one. And the sooner that we can learn to understand that we are not separate beings walking around. uh, we are, I'm going to quote one of my coaches. He said, we are some of the one. So you are someone, you are some of the one, right? We are all some of the one. And in yogic philosophy with Dharma, our Dharma is considered one thread in the fabric of the quilt, right? So I'm a thread, you're a thread, your friend's a thread, your mom's a thread. We are all threads. And only when those threads are woven together in communion, working together, do we have a nice warm quilt that provides a sense of safety and love and keeps us warm. Only then, when we thread together the individual threads. And that's what Dharma is about. It's about each of us being the strongest, toughest, but yet most loving and supportive and kind threads that we can be for the whole of the quilt, for the whole of the quilt. So I'm asking you to take this opportunity. Take this opportunity. We're going to do it on June the 6th. Um, if you are interested and would like to participate in this workshop, it will be based off of my 5 steps to discovering your Dharma guidebook. You can email me at katie@momontheverge.org if you would like to attend. It'll be held over Zoom. It'll be 90 minutes. I would love to see you there. I would love to see your beautiful faces. I'd love to make connections. I'd love to share, what has been shared with me that has helped me so much. And I'd love you to meet each other as well, because people who are interested in taking this deep dive and doing this work, they tend to really just connect. There's just an instant connection there. There's a soul recognition. So you can meet other like-minded people. You can start heading down this path to discovering what lights you up and what you were here to do. And you can just take some time for yourself that you so deserve to start walking your way back home to yourself. Okay. If you have any questions about this workshop, email me at katie@momontheverge.org. I will put the link. I will put my email in the show notes, and I will remind you of this opportunity next week in case it falls off your to-do list. I will keep reminding you because I would love to see each and every one of your faces there. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you at the workshop.